All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. We got a great topic. I am Kelvin Troy Johnson, dating and relationship coach, known as the Love Coach of Atlanta, but I serve the people wherever they are. And tonight we got a great topic. How long should you wait until commitment? I get this question over and over and over again. And so tonight we're going to solve that we're going to answer that question, but I just want to give some shout outs before I introduce our guest for tonight. So hello, everybody. We got our TikTok audience checking in. Hello from Morocco. Yes. They're already weighing in with their comments. Boyfriend is in another country, far away, 3 hours, but didn't travel to meet me. Is he not serious? I'm telling you, Sherica, we get into it over here. So we're doing it, y'all. So welcome to the show. Let me introduce you guys, our guest for tonight, Sherica Matthews. She is a dating and relationship coach herself. She's a life coach, and she specializes in dating, relationships, love, all that good stuff. She has her unique blend of conversations on this topic. And this is what I love about this, Sherica, is that I don't have to be you. You don't have to be me. Absolutely. We just do what we do and we let it rock. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited about this topic.
Yes. So real quick, give us, fill us in a little bit more on some of your work and who you serve. And then we're going to blast right off.
All right. Well, like you said, my name is Sherica Matthews. I am a life and relationship coach, and I mainly work with women over the age of 35, women who are still single, who are struggling in their relationships. They really want to experience a deeper, passionate, more fulfilling relationship that lasts the test of time. And so I work with my clients through my coaching programs, through one-on-one courses. Through one-on-one coaching, and then through my courses. And of course, I love showing up here online with fabulous people like Kelvin. And I also have my own podcast called Orgasmic Relationships.
Orgasmic Relationships.
Yes.
I was blessed to be a guest on Sherica's podcast.
Yes. Stay tuned for that one, y'all. You want some juicy conversation?
Yes. And so I couldn't help but to bring her on to my show. She's knowledgeable. She knows her stuff. And you have your unique sauce. I love it. So let's get into it tonight. Sherica, when you first saw this title, what came to mind for you?
The first thing that came to mind is that we always try to put a timeline on everything. Mm-hmm. And there are some cases you don't have to put a timeline. Like, for example, I have friends and clients who are like, okay, if I go on a date with someone on Monday, we need to be in a relationship 30 days from now. Otherwise, it's wasting my time. I'm like, yeah, but how long have y'all been talking? Do you know him like that? So everything's to have to be on a strict timeline. There are so many factors out there that determines how long should you wait. And then the question I have to ask is, why are you waiting? That's a question to think about, because what I see as women, we are always waiting on the man to ask us to be in a relationship with him. We are always waiting for the man to ask us to marry him, instead of using that time to evaluate, do I want to be in a relationship with him? Has he shown me the information I need to see to give me confidence that he would be a good fit for me as a boyfriend or a good fit for me as a life partner?
Okay. Good point. Let me give a quick shout out to Angelia. Hello. My girl LV is in the house over here. Y'all ready? I see they all ready for this conversation. And anybody who wants to join in, leave a comment. If you want your comment to come up on the screen, you can always pop over to the YouTube side or the Love Coach Atlanta side, and we'll definitely be able to grab your comment. But, so here's my thought, Sherica. Okay. I'm going to just jump off on what you just said. Okay.
I'm ready.
One of the reasons, now a little later, I got 5 tips or things to think about on this topic, right? But just right off the bat, right? One of the reasons that men are slow to commit, slower to ask her for her hand in marriage, just slower all the way around with this, is that because a man has to know that this is what he really wants, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It could feelings get involved, it's actually a big commitment for a man, especially let's say you said the women that you serve around 30, 35, was that?
35 to 40, like
35 to 40.
Established, stuff like that.
Okay. The men who have to make that decision, right? There's a lot when you say you're going to be my girl, my woman, I'm going to be your man, right? The man has to know that you are somebody he wants to cover. You're somebody who respects him, somebody who listens to him, somebody who will represent him, right? Because once you say you're my woman, now you're representing me,
right?
And so a man has to know that this person that I'm saying is my woman is going to have me looking good favorably in the public. Okay. So there's a lot like when a man, and we talk about real men, right? When a real man decides that you're going to be his woman, he almost has to be ready to die for you.
Almost.
Okay.
I would expect that out of a dating relationship, but I need a certain level of commitment. But here's where I think men and women diverge, is that we don't always agree on what commitment looks like. Like you said, some men, not all men, but some men may see commitment as just simply, I am no longer dating anyone else, or I'm only sleeping with you, or we're just going to see how this thing goes, but I'm only dating you. But some men like you are saying that commitment means that I'm almost ready to die for you. Like, I'm almost ready to marry you. I'm almost ready to merge my life with you, so that sooner or later we're going to become as one. So when you're talking about waiting for, how long should I wait for commitment? Get a baseline. Whoever you're considering dating, make sure you have the same expectations out of each other as a committed man or as a committed woman. Yeah.
I love that. All right, you guys, I want the audience, I want you all of your opinions flat out. When you saw the title, answer the question, how long should you wait for commitment? You could say whatever, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. You guys, let drop in the comment section. How long do you think a person should wait? A couple should wait before they commit to each other as being exclusive to each other. All right. Let me see your comments come down. My man Kwanu, the bass player, he said it only takes 90 days.
Okay. That's
90 days. He said,
before.
Yeah, he said 1 season. All right. T Atlanta, she said it depends on the chemistry. T, that's not a number.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a number.
But why are we relying on chemistry? That's another topic too. Chemistry,
yes.
compatibility.
Right. We could touch that a little bit here. Boymont says 2 months. T-Bone on the TikTok said 6 months to a year.
Okay.
We got 3 months. My girl Becoming High Value said 3 months. Planet said 12 months or less.
That's a wide range.
A wide range.
12 months or less, 1 day or 365 days.
Right. T Atlanta, I forced her down to a number. She said 1 week.
Okay. Wow.
So wait a minute. So you're telling me after 1 week?
I ain't even mad at that answer, because
Talk to me.
When I was out here in these dating streets, very few men made it past the first date. Very few. I knew from maybe a week or two of conversation. I did a lot of online dating, and
Mm-hmm.
then one date.
One date.
One day. That's all I did.
Wow. Hmm.
And I haven't regretted any of those decisions.
Wow. Wow. So so let's I think as these great answers are coming through, we got 6 months, we got 5 months over here. As these answers are coming through, how do you think women see commitment? Like, because generally a lot of times it's women who are asking for the commitment. So why are women asking? Why do women ask for the commitment?
We want reassurance. We want some way of knowing from the person we've invested our time, our energy, and sometimes even our bodies into. We want to know that they are just as much into us as we are into them. And if you're at a point where you have to ask someone, what are we, or are we going to be in a relationship? 9 times out of 10, he's not putting as much energy into you as you are putting into him. And that creates that anxiety between where you are right now and where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so commitment for a woman is more than just saying, I want to be with you. It validates what we think is our self-worth and self-esteem, and validates the decisions that we've made to date this person.
Mm-hmm. 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 Good stuff. My girl LV said, I'm with you. Most don't make it past the second date to me. Roscoe, my boy from back in Jersey, for some, the first day they meet one day. He got one day. One day, and that's it. All right, my girl becoming. Go ahead.
I was like, everybody's different, because I will say this. I went on a date, this was years ago, with a guy. I promise you, he proposed on the second date.
Wow.
And I was like, sir, you don't even know my last name for real. Like, you know the name I gave you.
Right. Wow.
But come to find out, he wasn't even divorced. He was still legally married.
So I was going to say that. So we have to talk about this, because I really believe that if people are in a hurry to commit, that is a red flag.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody who wants to hurry up and get in the commitment, that's a red flag to me, because they're in a hurry for a reason, and generally that reason is not in your best interest.
You're so right about that. You're so right about that. And that's why you have to take the time to ask yourself the question, has he shown me everything that I need to see to give me the confidence that I need to know that he's going to make a great boyfriend, partner, or husband for me? Because if you're not asking yourself that question, you're just concerned about getting the title. You're just concerned about taking Instagram photos together. You're just concerned about showing off that you got a man. You're going to miss the whole boat.
Yes. And men are aware of that. So a lot of men are aware of that's why they go slow.
Yeah.
Just let me grab this. This is a good comment. Just all well. Sorry if I messed your name up. She said, being intimate with me means that I have expectations of you. And if you're not ready for that, then slow.
Yeah. Now, and that brings up a good point. How long do you wait before you get physically intimate with someone?
Sherica, you know that's a whole nother show.
Because let me tell you something, and I have a difference of opinion for some of my colleagues here, but I have the opinion that a woman cannot sleep with a man more than 2 or 3 times before she becomes emotionally attached and committed. Before the words are even said. And so when you're starting to commit yourself sexually to someone without creating that mental intimacy, that emotional intimacy, or that spiritual intimacy, you're going to set yourself up for failure, especially as a woman. That's why you have to take the time to invest and learn and investigate the person that you're considering giving yourself to, because like the young woman, or I don't know, it's a woman or a man who said that. But when you invest your body into a person, that's a huge commitment. Say, I have expectations of you. I expect you to be honest with me. I expect you not to be sleeping with nobody else. I expect you to take me out on dates. I expect you to call me every single day. That's why when a guy misses a day calling or texting, a woman starts tripping, because I'm already committed to you because I slept with you.
And you know what, I had another speaker friend, and she said, you know what, she said exactly what you're saying. This is her. I realize there are different kinds of women who move differently today, but that was her. She said, listen, I already know if we sleep together twice, by the time we get to the third time, you're my man.
Right.
She's like, so
you might not know it.
Right. Whether you like it or not, we in a relationship, because you know, she's like, I give myself to you, and you're not just gonna take myself and not come back.
Right.
You know, and just go about your way. Like we have to be an item and be building something. So
yeah. And I know a guy who actually admitted to the woman he was dating. She wanted to have sex with him, but she would not do it if they weren't in a committed relationship. So he said, I will commit to you in a relationship. And they slept together, and they broke up like 30 days later. Because he was only in it to have the physical intimacy that he desired. He liked her. He wasn't ready for the level of commitment that she wanted.
And so, you know, I have this conversation with the guys too. And, you know, I encourage them, look, tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell these women the truth, because whatever it is that you want, there's somebody who wants that same thing.
Yeah.
So there's really no need to lie to these women trying to get some. Just go find one that wants the same thing you want. If you want a commitment, don't get with a woman who's not interested in the commitment.
Right.
Right? Because there's a lot now, as we say that, as we have that conversation about women getting connected and all that, there's some women, they hard as steel, buddy. Okay. They have
women like that too.
Yes, they've been there. They've done that. Maybe some of them have been in long-term relationships. If you've been married for 15 years, 17 years, you're not looking for no commitment. Okay. They out for fun. What do you say? They're here for a good time, not for a long time.
Look, they are like Stella in that movie, how Stella got her groove back. The age don't matter. They out here trying to, relive their youth.
Yes. So let me grab some more of these great comments. We got Laurel hanging in here from Minneapolis, and man, they going off on the TikTok side. I can't even catch them all. I can't even catch all these comments. But look, why don't you? Do you have the Facebook side open?
I do not.
Okay.
I was looking to see if there were comments would show up here in the chat room, but I'm not seeing any comments showing up.
Yeah, only the comments, if they make the comment in the Love Coach.
Okay.
Or on right here on YouTube. All the comments are outside of YouTube. I need y'all the comments to be on YouTube.
Right. So up the Facebook and see if I can see the character. There we go. Okay. I see the comments now. Let me.
Yes.
On YouTube.
Right. All right. Good stuff.
Oh, women are afraid to say what they want up front and put down rules. I have this conversation all the time. You can tell some women the truth and they only hear what they want to hear, thinking they could change them. Oh,
talk about that.
Oh, there's so much to talk about. Okay, so this is, I guess it's T Atlanta. Women are afraid to say what they want up front. And I would agree with that to a certain extent, because women who operate from a place of fear, women who will operate from a place of, I am afraid to scare a man off. I'm afraid that if I say that I'm celibate, or I say that I want to have sex on the first date, I'm going to run off a good man. And to that, I say, you can't run off what's yours. We have to shift our mindset from, there aren't a lot of good men out there, so I have to be careful in stating what I want up front, because they're going to run away. However you start off with someone is how you're going to end. If you start off by by not being clear and precise about what it is that you want at the very beginning, you're going to continue that habit throughout the relationship. And that's how, as a woman, you lose yourself in that relationship. You find yourself not expressing your thoughts, your desires, your feelings, or your concerns. All of a sudden it's going to come up as an argument. So no, we don't want to do that. But you're right. Some women are afraid of asking for what they want. And put down rules. Yeah. Well, so everyone is entitled to the rules of engagement they desire for a relationship. And this is why conversation is so important. You know, one of the things that I did in the very beginning of my relationship, when we would have conversation, I would ask him, what do you mean by this word? Because how I say and mean this word may have a little bit different of a meaning than how you mean and say this word. So for example, commitment to me may mean you're ready to sacrifice your life and you're ready to take care of me financially, emotionally, and physically. Whereas commitment to him may mean, well, I am not going to sacrifice my life for you. I'm not going to take care of you financially, but I will take care of you mentally and emotionally. Yes. And we just got a comment on YouTube. Yes. Define the conversation. Define what you mean. Define what you want, because a lot of what I desire comes from my upbringing, comes from my experience, even comes from my hurt and my shame and my fears. So you may both want a commitment or a marriage, but if you've been divorced, if you've had your heart broken, you may say, well, we can be in a committed relationship, but we will never live together because I had someone almost make me lose my house. We can be in a relationship and married, but we will never share the same bank account because I don't trust no man with my money.
Right. Yeah. This is so good. And you know, we had some people who were chiming in about that you use the word rules, right? And some people don't like the word rules, right? But how do we look? We have to have an understanding. That's all a rule. That's all rules are. It's a clear understanding of boundaries, and so we all can march in the same direction. Absolutely. If we're both clear on what the expectation is.
That's exactly what it is. Rules of engagement simply means your boundaries, means expectations, means limits, and means a goal. That's all that is. Because when you look at the military term, or if you look at the rules of engagement at your job, there is very clear expectations. There's very clear compensation. There's very clear benefits. You know what you're getting into. And so when you meet somebody for the first time and you're dating, that's all you're doing. You're not going to jump in on the first day and say, well, I ain't doing this, this, and this. You're trying to understand that person's character, that person's vision, that person's energy before you even say, okay, it looks like we're getting along pretty good. This is how I envision my relationship or my love life going. And that's how you start the conversation. But I love this comment here. That's fear. There is no relationship with fear. However, fear is unfortunately an undertone of American society. Almost everything that we do, from the news to some of the songs you listen to, to some of the unwritten rules at your job, there is an underlying tone of fear. So the object here is not to become fearless, to get rid of fear. You want to have that fear be less of an influence on your life and your decision.
Yeah, I like that. You know, I see it as almost like there's different kinds of fear, right? You as a child, you had a certain kind of fear of your parents, right? And it wasn't the fear like they're going to kill you, literally.
Yeah.
Right. But it was the fear that you didn't want to disappoint, you know, and you had the fear like a reverential fear. Right. So you don't cuss your mama out.
Do that if you want to. You may not live tomorrow.
That might be some physical fear that you might have. Right. But so what it is in relationships is that it's having that reverential fear that like, I don't want to hurt this person or myself. So let's get on the same sheet of music. Let's get a good understanding of where we're going, and so that we can go in the same direction. And
Absolutely.
but some people turn that fear. Some people won't commit because of the bad kind of fear.
Right.
Fear I'll get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Fear somebody will abandon me. Look, that's a big one, right? And look, that abandonment one is something that people don't see coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they don't see that, because sometimes some of these people, I've known people who I always talk about this case. You guys may not know, I come from social work. It's my background. And I remember having this case. I talk about it often. This boy, the grown man in my office, told me that he came from social work, right? And he came from, not social work, he came from foster care.
Okay.
Terrible foster care parents from back in the day. In the 80s, they didn't care.
Right.
In the 80s and the 70s, if you was in foster care, you might eat once a week. I mean, it was bad. And he was they were like treated like dogs in these old abandoned, like old houses they lived in, and like he told me they literally used to throw bread down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they say I'm hungry, they throw bread down the stairs like they throw it into a dog, and like they would be cold in the wintertime. And so as he got older, that guy, he came to me and he told me, Kel, I have never been loved. And you know, I was taken back by that, because I never heard anybody actually say that. And I said, no, I'm sure there was somebody in your life that loved you. You just didn't know. He said, no, I know what love is. And I know I never had it, you know? And so kids who come out of that foster care system, sometimes who come out of adoption, like they sometimes have that space that is really unfillable. Mm-hmm. Unless they do the work on themselves. Yeah. You know, because you can't unring the bell of being deserted or being left or being abandoned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And some of our love experiences don't always come from traumatic experiences. Some of it is just because our parents weren't taught the full spectrum of love. And what I mean by that is there are some of us who grew up in households where love was displayed as provision. I provided food, clothing, shelter, and yeah, that's about it. Some households, they don't give hugs. They don't say, I love you. Some households could not give gifts because they couldn't afford to, or they've never given or received gifts outside of that family environment. So you have to take all of that into consideration, because you can have the capacity to learn something new, and you have the capacity to show your partner, who may only have a limited view of love, the full spectrum of what love is.
Well said. Well said. All right. So there's something happening on the TikTok side. Somebody was rude. Look, you can't cover all of these things. Look, y'all be nice over there. All right. We here for love. We're here for love. But so check out this statement here. This statistic came from a surveyor. A survey was done by Jewel. Let me catch it over here as it's running. All right. A survey was done by Jewelers F. Finds, found that nearly a quarter of people might consider themselves in a relationship after kissing each other. Isn't that, that's weird, right? While 27% would label it a relationship if it was a friends with benefits. This is that clarity that we talking about, or the lack of clarity, right? But whatever the assumption, it is not clear if you're both on. If you're not, it's not clear if you're both on the same page, unless it's supposed to say unless they're both on the same page.
I wonder what was the age range of the correspondence on that survey?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, it was like 20. They were in their 20s.
Sounds like some of my 20-year-old self would do. Because think about it, when you're young, no one actually taught us about dating and relationships. If we're just really honest about it, the way that we date and the way that we move about right now, we've only been dating like this for 50 years. Think about that, because our parents may or may, depending on how old your parents are, they may or may not have dated. Most of our parents and grandparents were in relationships and marriages out of necessity.
True.
They were looking for that financial stability. And that's one of the reasons why there's so much pressure for a man to provide, because a woman could not have a job. A woman couldn't vote. A woman couldn't have her own bank account. All this stuff just happened like the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
So the advice that's been passed down to us about dating and men and expectations coming from that vantage point. You know, so yeah. We're trying to figure this thing out.
Yes. So look, Sherica, I got I'm gonna pull out my 5 things to consider. Okay. I want to get your opinion, and you guys on the TikTok side, on the Facebook side, y'all drop your comments. Let me know what you think about these 5 as well. You guys are still invited to join us on the YouTube screen. Just type in The Love Coach on YouTube and my stuff will come up. So here we go. Things to consider when it comes to commitment. Number 1, having the talk means someone is ready to make it official. What do you think about that?
I think that's true. That means someone.
Someone.
One of y'all is ready for the commitment, is ready to make it official. And usually the woman initiates that conversation.
Yeah.
But I think, again, when a man is ready for commitment, I don't think you will have to ask him, because you can tell how he moves, how he talks, and what direction he's leading you in your dating relationship.
You know, you mentioned something earlier about if you have to ask somebody.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, on first thought, I would think, yes, you know what, you have to get clarity, and I like for a guy to do the asking, but if the woman needs to ask, she needs to ask. Like, if you feel like you need to ask and you feel like you need to have the official talk.
Yeah.
Some people don't need the official talk, but if you feel like you need the official talk, ask away. And there's nothing wrong with getting clarity.
Because there's a reason why you need to ask the question, because you're getting information, you're getting feedback from him that says you're not yet in a relationship.
Yes. With every interaction. With every interaction. Yeah.
So you need to make a decision whether or not you want to, because the other problem is a lot of us women exclusively date someone without him knowing.
Y'all don't. No, y'all don't. Stop playing.
Instead of, I'm a big promoter of dating 2 or 3 people at a time if you have the bandwidth, because when you only date that one person only, you get attached real quickly. And you're asking for the talk after, 2 days, after 3 days, after y'all done talk for 2 or 3 weeks, and you're like, ooh, yes, I'm ready to commit to him and have his babies and do all the backflips. But yeah. And he's still, warming up to you.
Right. Let's move on. Number 2, ask yourself, can you see yourself with this person on a long-term basis?
Yes, that is so important. So important. And I tell women all the time, you are not just dating for the woman that you are today. You are dating for the woman you are becoming tomorrow. So when you decide to get out here and date, have a clear vision of the woman that you will be tomorrow, not the wife you're going to be tomorrow, not the mother you're going to be tomorrow, but the woman you are going to be tomorrow. Then ask yourself, can this person support me in helping me get to that next best version of myself?
Yes. I love that. So I think, because I have this conversation all the time, and when I'm thinking about, when I see somebody who's considering coming together, one of the main things I'm asking is, do your futures match?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if your futures don't match, if there's no no synchronicity on direction, I feel like, what's the point of being together, right? Because if you don't understand and you can't get on, like we're not on the same train, you're not going to understand how to make me happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you can't make me happy, what's the point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's get a little bit more clarity on being on the same page. Do your futures match? Because the other thing I'm seeing happening is women are creating this expectation of creating a power couple. If I am ambitious, you need to be ambitious. And you're not as ambitious as I am as with working a full-time job and working part-time and starting your own business and raising 5 kids, then you're not good enough. And so that's not and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's the matching we're talking about.
No.
What we're matching is the overall vision of the family unit, of the couple unit. What we're matching is going to be, how are you complementing the vision that God has given me, and how can I complement the vision that God has given you?
Absolutely.
Do you agree?
I agree. I agree. I am his sweetie. No, you can't make me happy. I got somebody doing that already, but thank you for the offer.
Oh, gotta love it.
I'm telling you. All right, number 3. Some people slip into relationship status while others need a direct conversation. I know this to be true. I was talking to a young lady the other day, and she said, yeah, well, he kept coming over and stayed 1 day, stayed 2 days. Before we knew it, he hadn't gone home in 3 weeks. So we figured, I guess we together.
Yeah, that happens. But also, so that's a tricky subject right there, because things can happen very organically and very naturally, but it's okay to confirm that as well, because again, women want stability, and having stability requires clarity. If you are not clear, even if you just slipped into the relationship status, it's okay to say, hey, just to be clear, I know you've been here for 3 weeks, but are we in a committed relationship?
Yes.
Some of the answers I've heard men give back are, well, I'm here, aren't I? That's not clarity. That doesn't give me confidence. That doesn't create a stable foundation for us to build a relationship that's going to last a test of time.
Yes. Planet Show said, I need convo and agreements. No, not slipping and sliding.
You pull around, land in a ditch somewhere. We don't want none of that.
Yes. And I tell you what, and I can speak for the men folk, right? For men, you better get clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't assume that he is your woman. You are his woman and he is your man.
Right.
Do not assume. Because
same thing for the men too. Because they go around, they get emotionally committed to a woman. They get their hearts broken when they find out she's still dating 3 other men. Well, you didn't make it clear to me you wanted to commit to me. So.
Right. I always say, if you get an understanding, that cuts out on misunderstandings.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. According to a relationship expert, this is what the relationship experts say. It's socially acceptable to broach the subject after 2 months.
It depends. It really depends. I think that especially during the season of the pandemic, when you didn't get a chance to spend a whole lot of face-to-face time with someone, a lot of your time was done at a distance or over Zoom or some other type of interaction. It may or may not be the best of time. But again, I don't think time should be your measure. What should be your measure is, have you gathered the information? Have you got an understanding of his basic character? Do you know what his values are? What drives his day-to-day decisions?
Absolutely. And look, before I read this last one, but let me play around with this a little bit more. I'm I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna get to the next one, but this thing. So I noticed in the language of this, it said broach the subject, not necessarily boom committed, but it 2 months to begin having the conversation, which I'm totally cool with that. But I think if I had to guess, I'm going to say between 3 to 6 months. In 3 to 6 months, I feel like 3 months. 3 months is essentially 3-4 months is essentially a season.
Yeah.
Right. So you can kind of get to know who they are, what they're expect, what they're looking for, what you perceive they're looking for, and if that really matches. Like 3 to 4 months, up to 6 months, and you should know. If you're still hanging out with somebody and y'all been hanging out for 8 months and there's no specific talk about what we are, it's probably safe to say you're nothing.
Yeah. But here's a warning I would like to give. And I've seen this happen with very charismatic men who have no intentions of commitment. Very charismatic men would dangle the carrot in front of you in a way to say that, in their language, or say, I can't wait for you to meet my aunt when she comes here in July and it's January. It's hanging a little carrot in front of you to say, I see you in my future. Because those are some of the advice that we give women, listen to. Right. But you have to be aware of the charismatic men who's using that to dangle the carrot in front of you without giving you an actual commitment.
Yeah. We got a question over here from ACR lady. She said, what if they want to move really fast? Like you've been praying, Lord, send me a good man, right? A man who loves me, loves my children, will provide a beautiful place to live and a great lifestyle. And this man shows up, and he's talking right. He can do all the things. He checks all the boxes. 6 foot tall, 6 pack. all the six figures.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, he got all the sixes going. 6 foot tall, 6 figures, 6 pack, all of that. Right.
Well, here's the thing.
Wait, and he says, I want you, and I want you to be my wife, and I want you to. But we're gonna start off today. You are my girl.
Yeah. So
what we doing with that?
What we doing with that? We pumping the brakes because here's a couple of things. The man, if you've been praying and you ask God to send your husband, the man who's your husband will honor you. The man who's your husband is not going to put you in a situation that brings you more anxiety, stress, or worry. If you have to ask the question, or if your intuition and your gut is saying, oh, he's moving too fast, that's your sign. This may not be exactly the one. Especially if you say, hey, that is lovely. I think I'm a great catch too. But let's continue to date a little bit more, because if we are really meant for each other, I ain't going nowhere. But he starts, fussing and breathing all hard because you're not doing his agenda. That's a sign that may not be your person.
Yeah.
But again, if he respects you and say, hey, I totally get that, but just know God told me you're my wife and I'm going to prepare on my end. You just let me know when God has confirmed that with you.
Yes.
That is a different conversation.
Yes.
You see the posturing there, because he's honoring you. He's honoring your relationship with God. Yes. He's not trying to rush you, which means he's honoring your boundaries. What does that say about his character? What does it say about his values?
Now, wait a minute. Now, turn it around on the other side, though, because there's a lot of women who are in a hurry too.
Absolutely. You ain't got to rush nothing.
Okay.
Because here's the thing that motivates women to rush. A couple of things here. One, they feel their biological clock tick and they really want to have a baby. Or I've actually heard women say that I'm not getting any prettier. They feel as if they're going to be less attractive as they get older. And so they really want to attach themselves to someone to have that confidence boost and to have that stability. But here's the thing, when you begin to rush into a relationship, you begin to rush and emotionally attach yourself to someone, then you're setting yourself up for failure because you're not really seeing with your spiritual eyes. You're not really seeing the character of the person, the spirit of the person, the value system of the person, because that is what's going to make sure that you are going to be in an emotionally safe relationship.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need to think about those terms, because some of us only want to be physically safe. We want someone who's going to fight for us and defend our honor. But you also want to be emotionally safe. Is this man going to be responsible for your heart? Doesn't mean he won't make mistakes, but his strength of character, his strength of person will show up in his day-to-day life to let you know if this is your person. And if you really feel drawn to him, that this is your husband, lean back a little bit and let him come to that same conclusion too.
Yes.
Because when it happens, it's going to explode. It's going to be great, but you don't have to rush that greatness.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think that you know, we have time. I don't like people in a hurry because and one of the reasons that men slow down too is that a man generally, like, unless he's up to something, a man will generally take his time with making these commitments because there's so much attached to it. I did a TikTok video about that. Like, you know, a man realizes that you gotta do the providing and the protecting and the, you know, then she's gonna want to talk about kids and you know, houses, mortgages, cars, like, and you have to be ready to take on all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know?
But sometimes men come ready, because I can say this for my fiance. Now that I think about it, we dated for maybe a month and a half to 2 months before we were in a committed relationship.
Okay.
But he came ready, honey.
Okay.
I was shocked. Like, I never met anyone so ready to be committed. Like, it wasn't just lip service. He was mentally ready, emotionally ready, financially ready, and he spoke to my spirit.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So those are the things you want to be looking out for, because we get so attached to that time factor, and that's not really it.
Official pity party. She asked, "How long should I wait for him to make me his girlfriend?" That's what we talk about tonight.
Yeah.
That's our topic for tonight. How long should you wait for a commitment? So look, right now, before I read this fifth one, I want everybody to go ahead and, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and hit the bell. I need them thumbs up. I need y'all on the TikTok side to tap on that screen and send some love this way. On the YouTube, Facebook side, go ahead and hit them hearts or something, right? Because I want to make sure that they, you know, we feel the love. We brought our guest here. She's in here dropping some gems, and I want her to feel the love tonight. But so let's grab that number 5. The fifth thing to consider: it's okay to get a second opinion from your family and friends. What do you think?
It depends. Yeah. Sometimes your family and friends have expectations that are not in alignment with the vision that God has given you. And so you want to be careful about that. You want to seek wise counsel, but even wise counsel from people with experience should not trump what your inner spirit says.
Yeah.
Not your emotions, not what you read in the book, but your intuition, your inner spirit. You have to learn to trust yourself, which is, when I say trust yourself, you're trusting the God in you. And when you trust the God in you, you're going to get confirmation, not advice. Yeah. And that confirmation could come from wise counsel. It could come from a sign on the billboard. I don't know. It comes in many different ways.
Yes.
But you want to rely on your intuition. That's why, as a woman, before you start dating, before you start saying, I'm ready for a committed relationship, where is your spiritual grounding? How is your spiritual connection? How often are you in tune with your intuition? Because if you're not in tune with your intuition, you're going to be getting all kinds of opinions from your pastor, from your mama, from your auntie, from your best friend down the street. And you're going to be so confused about what to do because everyone's going to have a different opinion. Because I guarantee you, if I had listened to other people's opinions, I probably would not be getting married right now. Because going back to what I said earlier, people wanted me to have this power couple dynamics. And that's not the vision I had for myself.
Yeah. So I'm going to agree with you on the intuition and following the voice of the Lord as He speaks to you about a person. But I'm also going to push back on the other side and tell you, I'm going to introduce you to my mama, right? And my mama is a great judge of character. Right? Mama knows me, and she know every woman that I come through town with. You know, she's been a great source of direction. Mama never lied to me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's wise counsel.
Wait a minute. So because mama never lied to me, I'm going to trust that mama's going to know if this is the right person. So I think even with the family and the friends thing, it depends on the relationship you've had with them, right? Like if you've really put yourself around friends who want to see you win.
Yeah.
And they've seen the people you've dated. They've seen you date them losers, and they want you to actually date a winner. And they know a loser from a winner when they see one.
Yeah.
They know you, and they know Bozo the clown, right? Yeah. They know Pookie and Ray Ray when they see one. Okay.
Right.
So I think sometimes you can't get the clarity that you need from your spirit, from yourself. Sometimes you do have to lean on people that you trust people who know you, and people who you can, people who will give you wise counsel and wise ideas and things to consider in these situations. So.
Right. I can accept that. But I think the key to both of our points here is that whichever path you choose, it should bring you peace, not confusion.
Absolutely. T over here, T Atlanta, she said divorce court on YouTube, Barge versus Tate. Who's that? Barge versus Tate. She must be watching it. She said, I was with a guy for 8 years I broke up with, and still drops by and checks on, but I wanted out the relationship because he was not the man for me. This was...
She was on divorce court.
Oh, okay. That's okay. That's what that meant.
2 years ago on divorce court.
She gonna make me go and check it out.
You do a watch party.
Yeah, we had to have a good example. Good stuff. So yeah, so this is so the second opinions is I'm okay with it, but like you said, as long as it brings you peace and not more problems,
right.
then is best. And so let's talk about, what do you do if you've wanted a commitment and it's not coming? Sherica, how long, if it's not coming in your 3 months, in your 6 months, it's still not coming, what do you do?
I actually had a client with a very similar situation. She was dating a guy for a few years without the commitment, because he says that he was not ready to be committed yet. He loved her. He loved hanging her around, having her around.
A couple years?
Yeah. So her question was, should I continue to wait? Because I love him and, I enjoy the time we spend together, but I'm just not getting the commitment that I want. And I really want to eventually have marriage. And I asked her, would you be willing to walk away until he's ready for the commitment? Because after a few months or a few years, he knows what kind of woman you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you have been seeing each other on a regular basis, if you have been on the phone having conversation, like deep conversation on a regular basis, he knows what kind of woman you are, and you know what kind of man he is. Are you willing to walk away to give him the space and the grace to be ready for the commitment that you desire?
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
willing to do that? Or
Yes.
does that create more anxiety in you because you're afraid you're going to lose a good man?
Yeah.
If you are afraid you're going to lose, then you actually need to walk away because you have more inner work to do.
This is a tough call.
Yeah, it's
And
not easy.
no, it's not easy at all. And I have this conversation often, because there's so many people who kind of backed into a corner on this thing. They got into it. They like being around this person, and they spent a lot of time together. They're essentially a couple, but not.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell somebody to walk away from somebody who they felt that was God sent, who they felt like we've got so much in common, who they felt we could have a family together, we could have the American dream together.
Yeah.
But he or she just won't commit. They won't go away, but they won't commit either.
Yeah.
So that's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah.
But
and I don't think there's one cut and dry answer for everyone. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, from what I've seen, women will stay in the relationship until they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't care what type of guidance you try to give them. If they've been with someone for 6 months to a year, they're emotionally committed. They're emotionally invested. Most of us don't want to let that go until we tried everything in our power to convince him that we're good enough to be in a relationship. And let me tell you this, if you guys don't hear nothing else I say, if you start off a relationship or any type of ship trying to convince somebody of your worth, you're going to continue that pattern the whole relationship.
Absolutely.
The whole relationship. Absolutely. And he'll never respect you and love you the way you desire to be respected and loved, because you're constantly proving yourself. You're starting yourself below the level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. T. Atlanta said her answer to that question was leave.
So much easier said than done.
Yes, it is. It
takes a tremendous amount of courage. And that's why continual personal development is critical for us as individuals. Sometimes we get so focused on being in a relationship and getting relationship advice and dating advice that we're not working on ourselves first to make sure that our faith muscles, our courage muscles, our self-esteem muscles are nice and strong. So that we have the clarity of mind to make the best decision for us based on the information we have.
Yes. All right. We got a good comment here. No, commitment is confusing, which means they are not on the same page. The question is a part of that future outlook you all just talked about.
Right. When you don't have a commitment, that means you're not on the same, you're not on the same train, on the same rail track, going in the same direction. He may be dangling that carrot out there talking about, oh, I can't wait for you to meet my aunt when she comes here in July. But y'all on two different trains going in two different directions because you guys have not bought the ticket on the same train at the same time going the same direction. That's what commitment does for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, my thought too on this is when you have done all the things that make sense for you to be in a relationship, you feel like this would make sense for us to be together, and the person still just doesn't see it. There's an old saying, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
I love that. Somebody requote that. That's good.
Okay. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
I love that.
You can't talk somebody into loving you.
Absolutely. Say that again, too.
You cannot talk somebody into loving you.
Yeah.
You can't trap them into loving you. You can't you can't bulldoze them into loving you.
You can't love bomb him into loving you.
You
We
can't
can
love
love
bomb them.
bomb him too. Yeah, no.
Because listen, some of these guys, you try to love bombing some of these guys, they'll take all your sex.
I love it.
and
write a book about it.
Right? And you're still not getting anywhere.
Right.
They'll take all your affection, all your attention. If you got money, they'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's not working.
Oh, here's a question on Facebook.
Go ahead and read that. That's our black therapist, black male therapist.
All right. Hi, James. I would like to ask the guests, do the same rules apply to people dating and meeting after divorce? Many learn more about relationships after divorce, which may make exclusivity not as quick as many would desire. I would say it depends. All my answers are going to be it depends. So I have been divorced as well. And I could tell you from the experience I have, as well as coaching other women that have been divorced too, sometimes exclusivity doesn't come as quickly because they still are dealing with healing the past hurt, the past trust issues, the past trauma from their last relationships. And that goes back to my point earlier. You always have to do the work.
Yes.
Because trust issues and insecurities and fears are going to be there. But you want to get to a point where those fears are not leading your decisions. You want to fear less and gather more information and make a decision from a wise place, not from a hurt place.
Yes, absolutely. We got the good brother Gerald Hightower in the house. Entanglement coach. Yes. Thank you for joining us tonight, good brother. Yes. But I'm totally feeling that. And but again, even with that, right? If you meet somebody who is coming out of divorce, you can't push somebody into something they're not ready for.
Yeah.
And yes, you might have to wait a while if you want them. Now, I could tell you some of my favorite bachelors, some of my favorite single male men out here, to me, are divorced guys.
Mm-hmm.
I like a divorced man. Right?
They learn. They know the value of love loss.
Yes.
They know the pain of love loss. And hindsight shows you what you could have done differently.
I'm telling you, divorced men, they know already what it's like. I'm talking, now I'm just generalizing, right? Mm-hmm. But they know something about sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right? They know something about leading the whole, right? They know about patience. They know about dealing with whatever the situation is. Now, I'm not saying like, of course, every divorced guy's got a different story, right?
Yeah.
But to some extent, if he's been married, there's a certain kind of expectation that happens across the board with guys who are married.
Yeah.
Right? There's certain things that almost all married guys have to deal with, especially married guys with kids and a whole family and all of that. And so when that guy hits the market again, all he's got to do is make the adjustments, make the tweaks, clean up the stuff that he messed up before. Yeah. And once he does that, he's good as gold because he knows the process much differently than a guy who's never been married.
Right.
That guy's got to learn it fresh from the ground up.
Right. And again, this is in general. Don't go dating somebody who just got a divorce yesterday and think he's going to be like the best man ever.
Yeah, no. He definitely needs his healing time. Yes. We got a good comment from my boy Ray Tyler. You want to read that one?
You hook up with a divorced man. He's half the man he used to be. Lost all his house, half his money, a half-time parent. The main reason why I always disagree with this topic is because people learn the hard way that marriage is not a guarantee of happiness.
Okay.
And I can agree with that to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage itself is not a guarantee of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does is when you and your partner agree to come together in marriage, you are agreed to putting forth all the effort that you possibly can to create peace, to create happiness, and to create longevity. And sometimes those marriages don't always last. But if you are committed to doing the work on yourself and on the relationship, it can do it. And when that relationship or that marriage is no longer serving you to help you become your highest version of yourself, then you can, I guess the buzzword now is uncouple.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no guarantee, but what guarantees is going to give you is going to be the work that you put in.
True. And I'm understanding what Ray's talking about on this, because there's a lot of red pill conversations about this and about the guy who lost this and lost that and all of that. But I think that despite all of that, if he came into it for the right reasons, if he understands, yes, it's a risk. You said this a little bit earlier. Like everything's a risk.
Everything's a risk.
Guess what? Staying single as a man is a risk.
And as a woman, staying single as a woman is a huge risk.
It's a huge risk, right? So everything is a risk, So if you find somebody who is on that same sheet of paper, you guys are moving in the same direction. You take the precautions that you can. Now, something that I always suggest is couples counseling.
Absolutely. Even before you get married.
Mm-hmm.
And keep it throughout your relationship, throughout marriage. Let me tell you something.
That's good, Sherica. So let's start talking about that a little bit more. Let's start talking about some solutions, all right? About what people can do. So that's my number one solution, right? Maybe you want to become a couple with somebody. Maybe you want to get exclusive with somebody, and the person is apprehensive. There's nothing wrong with sitting down with a counselor, therapist, a love coach, or somebody.
Absolutely.
A life coach, somebody who can help you like fish out these fears.
Right.
And really like flesh out what is really going on as to what's stopping you from committing and what's driving you for a commitment.
Exactly. You hit that on the head right there. That is so important. Even if your partner doesn't want to go with you, go by yourself. Get your own coach, get your own counselor, get your own therapist. You don't have to be engaged to seek couples counseling. You don't have to be married to seek couples counseling. If you're in a committed relationship and you kind of hit just a brick wall, it's okay. Doesn't mean that anything is wrong. You just need some external assistance to get over that hump and to get clarity. That's all it is.
Yes. How about another one? You got another suggestion? If a person is stuck, they feel like this is not moving in the direction that I wanted to move in, how should I handle it?
I would suggest leaning back and go do something fun. And what I mean by that is when you take your attention away from the relationship and go live your life, you're doing two things. One, you're relieving the stress out of your life because you are around people that you love to be around. You're having fun. You're volunteering. You're doing things that you want to do. And at the same time, you are giving him space to make a decision. Because as you continue to put more effort into this non-existent relationship, you're not living your life.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you're taking a break or whatever you want to call it, but all I'm saying is lean back a little bit, like physically lean back, bring some of your energy back into you, pour back into yourself so that you can get clarity of mind on the next best step for you.
Yes. I like that pullback, that lean back. And I like the idea of a person setting yourself on fire, like
Exactly.
getting into getting
Love
into
your
your
life so much. You don't
yes.
even notice he ain't there anymore.
Right.
And he wants to be a part. And that's the things that some of us don't realize as women. Sometimes you have to lean back in order to attract him more to you, because he may be a little confused because you're putting so much time and so much energy into him and pressuring him to be in a relationship that he may be feeling smothered. He may not
Yes.
have time to even think clearly about what a relationship with you would look like if
Right.
you're pressuring him so much. Or he
Yes.
may really not want a committed relationship with you. But when you lean back from that and, like you said, set your life on fire, be so in love and engaged and passionate about your own life,
Right.
and living your best life, like
Yes.
authentically and fully, you're
Yes.
going to attract so many more people and opportunities for you that you won't have to ask, is this for me? Are you going
Right.
to commit for me? Because they're just going to come to you.
Right. And then you're gonna have a line of potential suitors, and then my man come back like, "Ho, wait a minute, ho,
Right.
wait. That's you mine. Oh
No,
yeah."
bro. No, bro. We didn't have that conversation, remember? You said you weren't
Yes.
sure. So,
Yes. I love it. I love it. If you always say, like, if you're into Zumba, find the Zumba conference and go shake it. Go get on a plane and go get
go
out
take a
there.
salsa class, a bachata class, like do it.
Yes.
I mean, even if your thing is not dancing, go roller skating, go
Mm.
sledding. If it's
Yes.
the winter where you are, you
I'm
know,
telling you.
go shopping. Hell,
Listen, I'm telling you, there's a lot that you can do
absolutely.
to add value to your life, which makes you more valuable in a relationship.
Absolutely. And you have to keep that energy in a
Got
relationship.
to.
Because that's another thing that I hear a lot too, is that sometimes we as women lose ourselves in the relationship. We're so busy taking care of our man, taking care of the children, being a caregiver for our aging parents, and doing all the things and wearing all the hats, that we don't recognize the woman who's looking at the mirror back at us.
Mm.
Our lives are so dedicated and so committed to everybody else that you forgot what you really desire. You
Yes.
forgot what you really want out of life. You forgot that dream and that vision that God gave you because you're so
Yes.
busy doing and you're spending less time being.
Yes, absolutely. So here's I got one for you, Sherica, and you guys can take this one. Start dating.
Absolutely.
Because if you found somebody that you feel like you want to be exclusive with, and they have not found that same idea of exclusivity, it's time for you to get back on the market.
Absolutely.
Okay. And when he calls you, and you have to tell him, "Oh no, I'm out with friends."
Yeah. Why you got to call me out like that? Because I've used that line plenty of times.
Oh yeah, I'm out with friends, and a smart guy he'll be able to read between them lines that why you always out with friends on a Friday night. You wasn't out with friends when we was hanging out.
Because you was never hang out with me on a Friday night.
Out with friends. So yeah, when they see you living that life, living your best life, going out, dating, look, they check out them Instagram pictures and they see you living that life. It's very motivating. And there's one thing that always works with men: FOMO. FOMO works every time on men. Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, it works every time.
Yeah.
So you got another one for us?
I think I would probably suggest investing into the community around you in a balanced way, meaning that sometimes you can get into a pity party about, he won't commit to me. Maybe I'm not attractive. Maybe I'm not good enough. And you begin this downward spiral of low self-esteem. One of the best ways to pull yourself out of that is to give to the community, whether it's serving through church, serving through the Boys and Girls Club, whatever your flavor is. Do something for somebody else. Again, the goal here is to take the focus off of you, take the focus off the relationship, and create good energy and create love for other people, because that's what you really want. You want to receive love for yourself, but sometimes you have to give love to others who aren't able to give to you. So try that.
I love that. I love that. Dr. G, come on, got to clean up what I messed up. Started my life over again. Yes. All right, Sherica, it looks like we have come to the end of the road. Is there a part of this conversation that that we haven't covered that you would like to cover?
Not at this time. There are so many layers to this conversation.
There's a lot of layers.
We can be on here for the 2 hours, and I know got to go to work tomorrow or go take care of their wife or their boyfriend or girlfriend at home right now. So I don't want to keep people from that.
Yeah. The one thing that I want to say about this is that when you decide to commit to somebody, just make sure that's really what you want.
Exactly.
Right? Make sure that's really what you want. Make sure this is not coming from pressure from the other person. It's not coming from pressure from your mama because she's seen you've been single too long. Starting to wonder about your gender your gender preferences.
Yeah,
right?
I've asked that question before. I'm like, really, Mom? Really?
Yeah. But make sure that the pressure is not coming from anybody. It's something that you really want.
Yeah.
And listen, if you get into it, if you say yes, we're going to be in a committed relationship. If it doesn't go right, if you find that, wait a minute, I've made a mistake, get out of it.
Yeah. And it's okay.
It's okay.
It is absolutely. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're stupid. You just experienced a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from it. Eat the meat, spit out the bones, and choose better next time.
Absolutely. Some people, you'd be surprised as to how many people stay to avoid embarrassment.
Yeah, let me tell you, embarrassment and shame will keep you in a stronghold. Let me tell you.
Yes, absolutely. So, you guys, Sherica, you guys give Sherica some love. Tell them how they can follow you, how they can find you, and we're going to get ready to get out of here.
All right. Well, I am mostly active on Instagram. I'm starting to build my TikTok audience, but you can find me in both places as Sherica A. Matthews. And I also encourage everyone to check out my podcast. You can find that at orgasmicrelationships.com.
All right. Good stuff. And you guys know you can follow me everywhere at Kelvin Troy Johnson on Instagram, Facebook. I do a little Twitter. I'm on Twitter, got a presence there, but I don't do that much.
Yeah.
And if you do need a love coach session, you can reach out to me. We'll hook you up. We'll connect with you. Let me put up the place where you can find me. Send me an email to lovecoachatlanta@gmail.com. You need that one-on-one. Look, let me tell you something. Your best efforts have gotten you where you are right now. Like all your ideas have gotten you the results that you have right now. If those are not the results that you want, you need help. Reach out. We get you a session, and we get the sessions going for you because it's, you just need help, and it's okay. Look, it's okay to say I need some help, but because that's what we're here for. That's what we do. That's our specialty. So reach out. And if you need to reach out to Sherica, you could do the same. Sherica, what's your email? If somebody wants to.
My email address is sm@ShericaAMatthews.com.
All right. Ladies, 35 and up, book your session. with Sherica. Ladies and gentlemen, you can book your session with me and we will make it happen. So make sure you guys come over. Look, if you've never come to the YouTube side, just go type in the Love Coach on YouTube and hit that subscribe button, then hit the bell so you don't miss anything. You know, while you're there, hit that like button. It helps support the show and help us keep this thing going. All right. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Sherica, hang around for a minute.
Thank you,
Till
guys.
next time. Peace and love.
Bye.
Later, y'all.